Hey, what's up? My name is Tyson Brown and I want to welcome you to Tyson's Fitness Tips podcast. This is Australia's top health and fitness podcast to help you lose weight, look good with your shirt off, feel confident in your body, and finally achieve the goals you want with your health and fitness. So 5 days a week, I'm going to be giving you top information from myself and also from leading experts in the field so you know everything you need to do to get in the best shape of your life. From nutrition to mindset to workout, everything is covered in this podcast and you need to go nowhere else. So like I said, it's going to be 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, in your ears with quick actionable segments that you can implement straight away, because the most important thing is that you can put these things into play. Also, if you listen all the way to the end of the episode, you're going to get 2 special gifts that you can download upon listening to it. So make sure you listen all the way to the end to get those free gifts, okay? So let's get into the episode. I think I'm going to go for about 15 minutes of talking today. This is episode number 4 in a row while I'm doing my hike. So I'm getting a lot of work done. I'm pretty happy with it, actually. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just knocking all these podcasts out once in a row, getting my steps in, combining things together. And there's just fresh topics in my head. I'm like, yes, I can just lead with all these things. I can talk about all these things. And it's actually pretty good. So today, so far in this little bit of a, let's say, a mini series, you've talked about calories, you've talked about protein, you've talked about different sources of protein, carbs and fats, and how you've got to figure out what foods are predominant in what, so you get an idea about what's actually protein, what's actually carbs, what's actually fats. You've divided it by the number of meals you have. You are slowly getting on track towards getting in that fat loss phase. You're starting to get switched on, which is good, because I want to make this as simple as possible. And the thing is, if you get stuck with anything I talk about, I always say, hey, send me a message, send me a DM. Because if you're struggling, someone else is probably struggling, which means I haven't made it clear enough for you to understand. And if I haven't made it clear enough for you to understand, that's a problem, because I need to make things as simple as possible so you can go and follow it, because then you're going to be successful with it. And this is why I want to do this. So if you do struggle, if you do get stuck, send me a message, hit me up, let me know, because I need to go back, fix what I'm talking about, so everyone can understand the simplicity of this. Cool? So today, going along with the calorie deficit, we're going to talk about the most satiating foods. The foods that are going to keep you the fullest for longest to help you maintain your diet. And it's funny because there are a couple of crowds that are out there. There's the if it fits your macros crowd, which says you can eat whatever you want as long as it fits within your macronutrients. I've talked to you about tracking your calories. So, as long as you hit your protein, let's say you have whey protein, then you have Pop-Tarts and Twinkies, and you have a little bit of meat. So you hit your protein intake, and then the rest of it's just filled with junk food. As long as you hit and you have no vegetables or anything like that, and as long as you hit your protein targets and you hit your calories, you're going to lose weight. And that is 100% true. The if it fits your macro crowd is right. But then there are these people who are quote unquote, they're called clean eaters, right? You want to eat as clean as possible. You shouldn't eat anything else. It's going to ruin your body, rah. And that's very far on the extreme too. And the way I like to teach my clients is a combination of the both. You should be able to eat the food you enjoy, as long as you're in your calorie deficit, because that's going to be the biggest thing. But it's also, you should eat mostly whole, nutritious food. And the reason for this is because of vitamins, is because of minerals, it's because of overall health, because even if you're losing weight, doesn't mean you're overall healthy. But it's also because whole, nutritious foods keep you fuller for longer. And if it keeps you fuller for longer and it makes you adhere to your diet better, you're going to be able to lose weight easier. Because when you eat junk food, when you eat refined foods, guess what? It's fucking hard to not feel hungry, okay? Because you're eating processed food, it's very palatable, it's easy to eat, it's easy to overconsume, It's easy to go over your calories. So it's like, okay, what can you do to avoid that? You eat mostly whole nutritious food. And that's why I don't keep any junk food in my house when I'm dieting. Quote unquote junk food is like pretty much any food that's processed, because it's like, I know it's going to be too easy for me to overeat and I'm going to be hungry for the day. So in speaking about that, let's talk about some highly satiating foods that you could be eating on a daily basis to help keep you full. Now I've covered this in another one. It's protein. Protein is the most satiating food per gram. The most satiating foods is things like chicken breast, tuna, eggs, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, meat. All of your protein sources are extremely filling, right? And that's why a lot of people, I say, okay, to my clients, have 2 Chobani Greek yogurts in the morning. And people are like, 2 Chobani Greek yogurts for breakfast? I'm like, yes. 2 Chobani Greek yogurts or 2 YoPros, that's 200 calories, right? 200 calories, it's about 30 grams of protein, and 2 of those with a handful of berries are really filling. It's fantastic. It's actually really good. Like, you could have a 250 calorie meal and feel like you've just eaten 600 calories and be full. And that's actually my breakfast every morning, right? 2 Chobani Greek yogurts. So protein is going to be most filling. But there are other foods that are really filling. So we've got boiled potatoes, we've got oats, vegetables, legumes, and soups. This is the list of the most filling foods, right? These foods are all going to keep you really, really full. So let me tell you what my day kind of looks like. My first meal consists of 2 tubs of YoPros and then a small serving of oats, about 40 grams, right? And that literally sits in my stomach and makes me feel full for about 5 hours. I would say probably 5 hours. Like, so full that I don't even want to train for another 4 hours, because I can still feel it in my stomach. And that is a really good meal that keeps me satiated for a long period of time, because it's got the oats and the yogurt. Then my second meal is lots of vegetables. I actually have cauliflower rice, because cauliflower is very low in calories, high in fiber, and it beefs up my meal. Lots of rice with tuna and like my vegetables and salad, because vegetables are very filling, salad's very filling, it's high in volume, low in calories, which means it's going to help you keep full for longer. So that's my second meal, high in fiber. Then my third meal at night time is cottage cheese and casein protein, because cottage cheese is a slower digesting protein. It's bulky, it's heavy type of thing. It takes longer for the body to digest. And so having those food sources help keep me full for long periods of time. And it's funny, because I say this to you now, and I know that these foods keep me full, yet some days I still make the bad choices of having a protein bar, or make the bad choices of having something highly processed, and I'm not full, and I'm peckish, and I'm not satiated, and I know that it's just because I chose these unpalatable foods. And so you need to think about what foods are going to fill you up the most out of these lists, and keep a list of them, and make sure you eat them as often as, well, not as often as possible, as much as possible, like during your, like that fits in your calories, that's going to keep you full. Because if you know that eating eggs every day, you have 4 eggs, right? 4 eggs, 28 grams of protein, 25 grams of protein, 25 grams of protein, and that keeps you full for, let's say, anywhere between 4 to 8 hours, and you're like, holy shit, like, this keeps me so full, I don't need to eat anything else. I have 4 eggs, and I have some stir-fry vegetables, and I'm satiated. Great. You have that, and you try and make that a part of your daily habit. And obviously you can add some spices and stuff like that to make it change. But if you have that, and it keeps you satiated, and it doesn't cause you to go and eat anything else, then you know that's a good choice. Or if you're like me, and you know that Greek yogurt keeps you really full, and you have 2 of those a day in the morning, or it's your first meal, and it keeps you satiated for a long period of time, great. But if you have oats and they don't make you feel satiated, but you've heard they're highly satiating, then they're just not satiating for you. So you've got to find out what food's going to be best, okay? So think about all your protein sources first. Out of the protein sources, what seems to keep you fullest the longest? After the protein sources, you've got boiled potatoes. Now tell you what, if you boil up a bunch of potatoes, you don't add salt, you don't add oil, you don't add anything else, you're not going to be able to eat a lot of potatoes. So they're a great source of carbohydrates. Actually, they're probably the best source of carbohydrates because the least amount of calories for the most amount of volume when it comes to carbs. Like 100 grams of potatoes, calorie-wise, versus 100 grams of rice versus 100 grams of pasta, potatoes win in the long run. So you got potatoes, soup, legumes. Legumes might keep you really full. So give these ones a try. Think which one's going to suit you best. Have a bit of an experiment. Try and combine some of these highly satiating foods together. And then that's what's going to help you keep full during the day and not have hunger cravings. And once again, if you struggle with this, or if you found foods that are highly satiating and you want to give me some examples, send me a message to @Tyson the Trainer on Instagram. Remember, Tyson the Trainer's got 2 R's, so TYSON at Tyson the Trainer with 2 R's. All right, that was the end of the episode. Speak to you next time. Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. So now you've listened all the way to the end. That means you get some free goodies. So what you can do is you've got 2 different options, or you can take them both. I've got an intermittent fasting cheat sheet and a high protein 20 recipe meal guide designed specifically for you in your situation. These meal plans and this intermittent fasting guide is designed to help you burn stubborn belly fat and get in the best shape of your life. So all you have to do is go to the show notes, click on the download link, and they'll get sent straight to your email address. It's as simple as that. They're completely free. They're gonna help you transform your body. So go to the show notes now and download your free guides, and I'll speak to you in the next episode.